I was a cashier at Kemathi University, serving tea, for those who don't know. Tea girl. I couldn't take it for a long time. So I have Dr. Seuss puts it very well. You have a brain in your head and feet in your shoes. And you can take yourself wherever it is that you want to go.
George R.R. Martin once said, "A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies." And as you can see with our background today, we are surrounded by many journeys, lives, escapades, and a lot of stories. But the story that has brought us here today is one that is unique and with a librarian. As always, my name is Edna Mumbi-Maina. Welcome.
My name is Emily. Mwangi, or for some people it's simply Emily, or to the children it is teacher. I don't know, whichever you might decide to pick. Yes.
Okay, maybe you can tell us the location we are at today.
So today we are at Inspire Community Library. It's under Inspire Beyond Books, which is our umbrella organization, and we are located at Pembetatu, next to our multi-distributors. It's very hard for you to miss it. Yes.
Are you Emily the librarian, or Emily, and how many titles do you
If
own?
I start giving my CV, it will be like 99 kilometers long, but I simply prefer the librarian. I think even all my hashtags will be the librarian or the traveling librarian, because librarians are not boring. And I am a librarian by choice. I know most people choose professions, but for mine, it's a choice. Yes, my degree was in business.
Okay.
This is basically a passion. Yes.
So, is this what you wanted to do growing up? Did you think you'd become a librarian?
Well, I could not read up to class 6. Most people might think that my English comes from learning my base, but no. Some of us really struggled. However, my mother introduced me to books, specifically Nancy Drew, and it was not silent reading, it was read aloud. And I guess by default, it kind of improved me overall, which is something most people would not think that can happen. And that is why I take it very seriously, the issue of literacy. Because basically for me, it's all about literacy.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Maybe now, because you've mentioned your mom.
Yes.
How was your growing up life?
Oh, we were 7. It was rough. I know my siblings. But it was a recipe for adventure. We grew up in Nanyuki. I'm not originally from here, but my parents are. And we went to Baptist Primary School, which is a mission school. And I guess even the surrounding helped us in the issue of having more resources than when you probably will in a public primary school. Although my older siblings did go to a public primary school.
Okay.
Yes, but that does not limit who or what you want to be.
True.
And a lot of us did not think librarian. You know, for us, librarians was something entirely different. Even now, you'll probably hear a librarian, someone who sits behind a desk.
Yeah.
I don't. We are rogue. Yes. We are not boxed in by people's thoughts. No.
When you were young, reading these Nancy Drew books, what was going through your mind? Did you think maybe you would come to explore very many books in the future? Or how was it?
I don't think I'd ever seen many books. You know, a lot of us live a day at a time. And I don't know how to explain this, but sometimes it's the better version. Our dreams should be big, yes, and they should scare us a little, but we don't want them to give us stress. I think as a child, like every other normal child, I moved from being a doctor to an engineer to an astronaut to, I hear them all the time, and I hear them all the time. So I think I have moved across the spectrum completely, until I had to settle into something. Yes.
How was your educational background?
I was actually called to a national school, but I didn't go. I went to Nyeri Baptist. It was too far and too cold, and too many girls in one setting. So I went to Nyeri Baptist. I did up to Form 4. I came out of school and didn't continue until I left my mother's house and I decided to join college. I struggled to pay for myself until someone in Nairobi decided, ooh, this girl needs... There were babas of that time who were more brain. But he wasn't. I just met him through the newspaper, believe it or not. And he paid for my first, what do you call it? I did an advanced certificate in project management. And then I proceeded to do insurance. At the age of 35, I was able to do my first degree and to start on my master's. And my degree is in business management, the entrepreneurship option. So we have gone to school, stopped because I was also a very young mother. A lot of people are becoming mothers at 25. Some of us were mothers at 19. Yes. A story for another day.
But maybe to bring you back to you becoming a mother at 19, and clearly you went on with school. After all that, you still went back to school. What pushed you?
How can I put it? At around 13 years of age, we were playing near a fountain. And I happened to be pushed by someone I suspect might have been one of my siblings. And I fell into the wellish, you know, when you're building houses. And at the bottom, I kissed a frog. And it did not turn into a prince. And then I had to struggle all the way upward and breathe, because if I didn't, I would die. Now, at that time, you realize very quickly, life requires you to have fight in you. When you're given everything, shika, serikali nisaidie, you stop fighting and you expect that everything will always be given. So at that early age, I learned that I have to fight for some things, fight to become someone. And besides, I think inwardly, if someone looks, you want to become something.
True.
See, that is true.
Yeah.
I would have been anything. I would have been a bank manager. I think I might have been a soldier. I loved guns, man. We lived near the air base, so I thought they looked cool. I would have been a teacher. I still do teach. But on my own terms and conditions. I think I would have been so many things, but I chose to be the librarian. For me, it's not about it's not even about the professions as such, but about how we change the communities. Yeah.
Now you've gone to college, you've pursued this and that. How did it then now turn to being you now starting the librarian? The librarian spirit is blooming in you.
No, I have always loved books. It's after I learned to read, it became a thing. So I used to collect one. I don't care if it's torn or it's hanging in someone's outside toilet. I would replace that with tissue paper. So I'm guilty. But I think it starts with one. Something that you're interested. Everybody has that thing that lights a fire. For me, it was a book. And more so, for it to become a library, it was what I saw in the neighbors' children. They used to come read my books. And at the time I was married, now I am not. So it was interesting to observe that this child can come back again and again and again. And I thought, just near here we have the public road. And at some point we lost one child. And I was like, what if they can't go far? What can I do about it? So I decided, let me set up something in my house. That was around 13 years ago. And I did. It was the scariest thing I've ever done. No money, nothing. I was a cashier at Kimathi University, serving tea, for those who don't know. Tea girl. I couldn't take it for a long time. So I have Dr. Seuss puts it very well. You have a brain in your head and feet in your shoes. And you can take yourself wherever it is that you want to go. So I put that brain to use. And I started. No money, nothing. And I've struggled to bring it up. But the good thing is that we have donors on board who give us books. We have individuals who bring books. We have books that we buy. So it became an all-round thing.
By collecting one book, here we are.
Yeah, we have about 3,000 to 4,000.
Oh.
Yeah, and we have really worked with other institutions to donate and give. I think over a period of 10 years, we might have given up to maybe 6,000 books.
No, really?
Yeah.
Would you tell people, would you advise people to take a risk?
It's your passion. If you believe strongly enough in it, why not take a risk? A lot of us will die. You know that quote that says that the saddest thing is that you'll walk into the graveyard, not because that they are dead, but it's all the potential lying there.
Yeah.
Utilize your potential. You have it. Don't be afraid. Even if you're going to start and it's like a side hustle, start. Because when I was a casual laborer, I did not know I would be this far. I'm not saying I have gone far. I'm not even a millionaire, no. I can meet a few of my bills. I still hustle like, whoa, because this is not funded. So it's out of pocket expense and what we make here and there. But as we've gone along, we've been able to see the many, many lives that we've been able to change. And people have come on board. We have good people out there. So I should tell them thank you because they have held our hand. Not an easy thing. Yeah.
Apart from people coming here to read, I presume they come here to read, what else?
They can come and make noise. We have... Seriously, we are like the loudest library and the messiest. You'll find people doing woodwork, you'll find people cooking, you'll find people playing games. But we do have other programs that we do, like we have coffee and poetry, which happens at the end of every month, quickly followed by the Art Fest. They go concurrently, a day apart. And Art Fest is run by Victor. He's from Kemadhi University, but it happens here. And then we also, over the holidays, we have a program for children, just like coffee and poetry, but the children audition. And now we have programs where we've managed recently, it's not very old, to have donor come on board who would like to support children and their education. So we also do research projects. We've worked with both Zizi Africa and Osawa for a while now. And we also don't limit ourselves to here. And American Friends of Kenya, I work in 21 other libraries in Kenya. And the Kenya Healthcare Initiatives, we have a whole project we are running in Masai Land, this side of Laikipia North. See, it's diverse.
True.
I know most people think that library, you just come in and sit. Nah.
Yeah.
And we also have read aloud programs that we run from Tuesday all the way to Friday. And we have book clubs, now going to 2 high schools.
We have viewers who are not readers. Or maybe we have viewers who are not literate.
Well, one, every book has its reader. And every reader has their book. Yes, you just haven't found it yet. Don't limit yourself to adult literature just because you feel like you need to prove a point. I have adults who are reading children's literature and it is okay. Very okay. Now, as you will find out in a short while, if you are not literate, books have pictures. Pictures have voices. You can still read.
Talk to readers who are just readers. You know, they are just readers. They just read. Nothing more, nothing less. They just read.
Okay. Nitasema aje. If you are a reader, thank you. We are not many, or maybe we are. And it is a lie that if you want to lie to an African, you put information in a book. We just haven't found the books we need or are attracted to. It's a personal, it's a love relationship. Yes. If in fact, even in my own library, there are books I will not look at twice. I'll be like, oh, really? So you just haven't found your book. And if reading is not enjoyable, leave it alone. Serious. It has to make sense.
I can see on the walls we have crafts. Do people come to do crafts too?
Yeah, we do. We have, but basically what you're seeing on the walls, during our storytelling sessions, we always accompany it with art because I like my stories to be unforgettable. Okay. Yes.
All right. With visuals, of course.
Actually, there's a recent research that was done that was saying that if children do art, they don't forget. It was a very recent study. I don't know if they've done it in Kenya yet, but for some of us, that's actually how we learned. So it's easier to remember in color. In fact, if you look at mostly what people do with their phones, what do they do with their phones? What is the first thing they look when they are buying a phone? Picha iko aje?
Camera.
Quality. Why? People are very visual. So for us, we have to go visual because then children do not forget. Do adults come? Yes, we have people who will walk in here and are like, but I would want to do a craft. And we charge very little. We tell them because of the materials, it's only 50 shillings. Make what your heart desires.
Okay.
We have the resources, at least. We are still looking for more because we are not limited to the places that we go. And we also have diversity of books. In fact, we have lots of books on craft. Very important. Yes.
Maybe we will try one craft before we leave.
I should make a porcupine. Today we were reading a book called A Porcupine Named Fluffy. And his best friend, the rhinoceros, called Hippo. I love kids' books. They make so much sense.
Currently, in the mental health space, we talk about healing the inner child. Is this a space where someone can come to heal that inner child because of the, maybe this kids-friendly books? There is that inner child that comes out when you're reading such books.
Oh yeah, in fact, I have a book called I Am Enough. We have books that are geared towards your mental. In fact, for me to be able to read a story, it has to be talking to someone about something. It has to be addressing your spirit. Otherwise, I'll not read that book out loud. And we do give that space. You'll notice it's only now that we are a bit silent, but we are forever constantly playing jazz. We want to make it, our environment is the kind where you don't feel like you need to be out. You want to stay in. Yes. We don't do the shh, shh. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Very bad.
Which is something most libraries do.
That is not what should happen. It's only third world countries which are doing that. People need to recategorize. Libraries are social spaces. You as an individual are a source of information. How will I ever know what you know if my work is to tell you, shh? It won't. If you need a quiet space, then we will give you a quiet space. But in the main arena, let people talk to each other. In fact, some of our best students here, they come out with Bs, and our highest got a 413 in KCP.
Wow.
They were constantly here talking to each other, showing each other what they are supposed to do. Imagine a situation where we are told them, shh. Then if they are struggling, we are also getting to hear. Our stories cause debates. So if they are speaking about, no, you're not my friend, we are able to address that on the floor, so that they don't go home with that heart pain. Our book discussions are the same. So any place which is silencing you, I think personally that would be very oppressive. Yes.
Is becoming a librarian something many youths should try?
Be a rogue librarian, tafadhali. Don't be the one that sits behind the desk and shushes people. Nah. Be like us. We go out and take literacy to the world. We are camping next to hyenas. We have the potential of getting ourselves into trouble. But as long as a book gets there, in fact, if you go on our page, Inspire Nyeri Kenya, you'll see, and probably on my own personal page where we are forever putting up tents. We go to these places because we care that someone needs to read, and not just read, but understand. Librarians and people, how can I put it? Don't just be a librarian, change the world. And you can. Yes. You're in a very powerful position.
I want you to speak to a youth out there who is maybe hopeless, who is maybe unemployed, going through stuff. What is your advice to them?
We have all gone through stuff. Let me start there. And some of us, if we give you our backstories, you will not believe. In fact, personally, I reached a point where I actually wanted to die. In fact, there's a book by Paulo Coelho called Veronica Decides to Die. So I can apply that to myself and say that by the time my son was about 1.5, I had decided that going to the ghetto and buying that brew that kills people worth 100 shillings is worth it. but it didn't. God aliniangalia hivi akaambiwa chujinga. So the bottom line is, look, you have, like I like Dr. Seuss. All the things you can think. I did not say the things. I said the things you can think. Now, you have a brain in your head. Use it. I know it sounds like an insult, but really, think about it. What can you do? Your thoughts become things. Okay? You have feet in your shoes. Use them. Do not, in fact, we went, I am also a Toastmaster. We went to my first Toastmasters meeting. The guy who was doing his speech said something I'll never forget. He said that the worst, learn to ask, because the worst thing you can get is a no. And that is okay. Okay? We have pushed most of my jobs, the ones that I was doing before I did this. I would stand in town, look at someone who looks like they have something to offer and tell them, hey, hi, my name is Emily, I'm looking for a job. And twice I ended up getting jobs that paid me over 20,000.
Oh.
So put your best foot forward. This life needs fighters, and you are. As a youth, you already are. You have the energy. You have the time. I can tell you that I have sold cabbage on the street. 10 bob, mother, 10 bob. I have cut spinach for people. Yeah, these hands. I've even been a house girl. God, I've even served people tea, the things we have. I have been in a butchery to cook and sell meat. So do not limit yourself. You just need to start somewhere. And because you have a dream, don't stop dreaming. Work towards it. There is a difference. A lot of us want to start at the top. And yet, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a
Step.
yes.
Such an insightful story. We've heard a lot from Emily. We've learned a lot from Emily. And I will leave you with a quote by Walt Disney. And it says, all our dreams can come true if only we have the courage to pursue them. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, and make sure to share. Until next time, bye.